25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 8 of the Connection Interruption Podcast. Today, we got another good show for you guys. Different stuff to talk about, a couple different bundles and stuff. But let's go ahead and bring on Ryan. We might have Tay tonight. We're not sure. A little bit of MIA going on, but we'll figure it out as we go. Ryan, get on in here.
What up? Tay's moving, just for the record. So we knew that there may be some challenges, right? So
like I said, he might join in the middle, he might not. It's all right. We'll figure it out as we go. But
won't be the first time we've had to do that, right?
Right. Hey, I mean, it's honestly the best way to do things. Have you played anything new this week?
Nope. No? It's been Fortnite, and Fortnite. I've been playing it. Well, so I've been bouncing back and forth between Xbox, PC, and then Switch. My Xbox and PC, as we've talked about before, are linked together. My Switch is not. So I'm trying to maximize my stuff off the Battle Pass on Switch. They put out a new thing that you could buy for like 1,200 V-Bucks where you can level up faster. Like if you go to certain areas, you can find these tokens and level up quicker towards the end of the pass here.
Right. I'm in like March.
Yeah, March 19th is the last day. But that pass stuff, like those little tokens and things, once I get those, I'll be leveling up faster, and then I can get the bonus stuff. There's a couple things on the bonus items from the Battle Pass that I really want. So
yeah, I'm falling behind on my Battle Pass.
I've actually maxed out of the regular pass for the first time.
Really?
Like it's never happened. I've never done it. And this is the first time I was actually able to pull that off. So pretty happy with the fact that I could get it because it was a Spider-Man related thing.
Right. Yeah, they got some really cool Spider-Man skins on there.
And I really wanted Aquaman when Aquaman was an option. And I just never. That was when I first like really struggled to kind of get into the game. I don't know. I've picked up more. I think I still don't like the building, so that still keeps me from wanting to play a ton. And then when I get down to like the last 5, I notice like the other 4 people can just build really, really well, and I can't. And it makes a big difference. But the people that build well do really well, and I get a ton of second place finishes, which is fine for me because when I first started playing, I was always near like the bottom half. So I am improving, so I'll take that. But what about you? What are you playing?
So nothing new. There's a whole lot I want to do. Just trying to make sure I utilize my time. You know what I mean? Because there's VR games I want to play. There's old games that I want to play. Like I want to start a Borderlands playthrough. I just haven't yet. And then like I don't know. I really want to get Elden Ring, but like part of me only wants to get it if one of my friends get it.
It's gonna be the greatest game of all time.
It's tough.
Based on reviews, there's like very little room for debate on that.
But I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, you could easily get Cyberpunked. I mean, Cyberpunk had all the same kind of reviews. You know what I mean?
Well, I had a bunch of preview stuff, but these, like, I would say there were a bunch of people that have reviewed it that didn't finish it, which is a good thing because it means the game's longer. But there are some people that crunched to get it done, which I don't ever like. I saw a tweet earlier, like, don't badmouth anybody who didn't finish the game and wrote a review because of how long it really is. I guess I'm in the minority. I don't feel like you need to finish a game to know how it plays. You're not going to review the story really anyway, right? You're reviewing the gameplay, and so far, I mean, everybody's like, I think I've seen one 9 out of 10, and mainly 10 out of 10s, and some 4.5 out of 5s, 4 out of 5s. Like, I haven't seen anything that says it's awful.
Right.
Unlike Horizon Forbidden West, that was getting review bombed last week.
Yeah,
I'm not really understand that ever.
That doesn't surprise me too much. I mean, but I mean, I've shared my opinions about the game on here plenty. So it's I don't know. I not surprised because I don't think it's a whole lot more from the other game. I do think that the game has a good world. It looks beautiful. Gameplay's okay. The story's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got bored playing the first one, so I would have to be really wowed for the second one. But that's just me.
No, I get that.
But like, there are plenty of games that I'm like wanting to play, but it's just like, okay, well, where do I start, and like how much time do I want to invest? And that's the thing.
Well, that's my problem with Elden Ring. Like, we were reading last week, like, what, 80 hours?
Yeah. And the old Mark, that would be no problem. Like, the new me is just like, ugh, like
87 hours according to IGN.
It's like that sounds like a chore. But like, I wouldn't mind if like somebody else got it. So maybe I can convince my friend to buy it. But I did win $53 last night from playing poker night with the boys. Been playing a lot of VR poker, so apparently it's working still. I'm up $118 total. So I have the funds. I could buy. I mean, Elden Ring's only 40. But what do you think about the release time? Being like 4 or 5 o'clock or something. I think it's 5.
Yeah, it's a weird time. To me, it doesn't seem to make up, like, I don't know that I care. I guess it's one of those weird things. Like, I always complained when they had midnight launches, and then you'd get the game home and you couldn't play it till 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Like, being on the East Coast, you get some of those. But if the game as a whole is functional when everybody gets it, I'll take it. Like, I just think that you've got to start releasing, with digital releases being the way they are, you got to release it to everybody at the same time. Yeah. So I don't really care about when it gets released as long as everybody's getting it at the same time. I remember people standing in line at midnight releases and me just laughing because I'm like, guys, we can't play this till 3 a.m. Like, it was just a reality of a lot of the online stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't really a thing originally, because like originally, like, it was like, if you have a copy and it's online, you can go right now.
Yeah, right.
But like, my thing, I used to be so bothered by other people getting it first, but I've kind of let go of that. I just kind of like don't care anymore, because it's like, listen, I mean, there's already like all this, as big as content creation it is now, there's already gonna be plenty of people who have it and have videos of it out and stuff like that. I'm just like, like, a lot of things for online, I almost rather them do a rolling release, because it's like, okay, so if I get to play it at 5 o'clock my time or whatever, and someone across the pond, I want them to be able to play it on their 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, because like I believe in that also for the server side of things. I rather things run very smoothly. So I'm kind of cool with it. I just think it's interesting, but
yeah, I mean, it's a story-based game, right? So for me, I want everybody to get it at the same time so you have an opportunity to not be spoiled if you accidentally wind up in the wrong place. And by the wrong place, I mean anywhere on Discord or Twitter or, you know, in any community where somebody's going to be a douche and put it out there and spoil something. I mean, they literally spoiled something on their Twitter account already.
Dang.
Like, so it was like, I can't find the post now, but there was a post about was Games Radar. They posted it 2 days ago. Elden Ring devs asked players to avoid posting spoilers because people have already been playing it and posting things. So it would be nice, and I know that I'm not gonna. This is one of those games where it looks beautiful. I think I'll be into it, and then I'm not really going to be into it. I want to be, I really do, but where am I going to get 87 hours?
I mean, I guess you just really take your time and chew through
it. It'll be like Batman Arkham Asylum for me again. Like 4 years later, I finally roll the credits. Like, I just don't, I don't know how you get through a game like that without a spoiler. And that's what Joel is like. It's impossible to control. Yeah, I get that. I just think that
hashtag red wedding.
I'm not going to go out there and try to rush through the game to not get it spoiled. We all know my love for Dark Souls games, which is my fear with this game, is that it's going to be too hard.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I may be able to get through some of it, but it's just really hard to tell. I just don't know if I know for a fact that I don't have the time to just sit and play that game and play nothing else for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And the majority of my sit down and play time still, and people can flame me for this all they want, it's on Switch. Like, I'm playing it while I'm laying in bed trying to get ready to relax for the night and kind of like call it a night.
Right. No, that makes sense.
And that's where most of my playtime's gone. And I would love to see, like, I know it probably can't even run on the cloud on the Switch, but the more games that wind up on my Switch, the better for me right now. But I mean, this game looks beautiful. I don't know. I have a really hard time on any game that gets 10 out of 10, like, consistently, and thinking it's not overhyped.
Yeah. I mean, it might be, but I guess at the same time, for like me, it's like, I
mean, a
don't
lot
know.
of
It's
people have
like,
been waiting
how do you
for a
not?
very, very long time for this game.
Right.
And I hope for their sake, everybody who is that person, I hope you get what you were looking for out of this game. Because if you do, that's awesome. I mean, its Metacritic is hovering like between 97 and 98 right now. Yeah. I just hope that people don't get too hype, because there are going to be people that go to play that game and don't know what a Souls game is, because they're going to see those reviews and they're going to jump in. I feel bad for those people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
but it could turn out to be the greatest game of all time.
I'm just looking, because I don't really trust reviews. I never really have. Whether they're good or bad, I just never trust them, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's always, did they get paid to do the review? Yes. Did they get a free copy? More than likely, yes.
Right.
Have they reviewed a bunch of games, and do I agree with most of their other reviews? Like, do I fall, like, I don't know how to really.
I mean, Game Informer, Cyberpunk at 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Pre-launch. Yeah. IGN 9 out of 10. GameSpot 9 out of 10. It's like, so it's just like, and there's no way. It's like they would have had to been playing a completely different version.
Yeah.
It's completely and utter.
And that's where it's interesting to me, because I think you get the Metacritic scores are usually the ones that I look at, because it averages out all the other options out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Open Critic is interesting too, because right now, like, Elden Ring sits as the highest rated game of all time, with Super Mario Odyssey. Breath of the Wild right behind that, Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, God of War, and then Last of Us Remastered.
Right.
Then Persona 5, Royale, Persona 5, and then Hades. Like, that rounds out the top 10. And almost all of those games on that list are games that we've talked about as some of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
So if it stays in that top 10, like, it's in good company for sure.
I want to get it, man. I do, just because it's like I feel like this could be. I mean, this is probably game of the year if it like lines up.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me because historically, game of the year doesn't get released this early in a year. Right? Like,
yeah. Well, no, because like I mean, it wasn't this early, but when I was saying It Takes Two, that was pretty early in the year.
Was it?
I think it was in the
remember the release
spring,
date.
but I mean, it's still
Okay.
pretty early considering
And God
most
of War-
games release in the
God of War
fall.
was March, right? But
I could
like,
be wrong.
yeah,
I
no,
thought it-
you're right. March 26th.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm going 2 years running. I haven't played it yet, but it might be game of the year. So, I mean, like, how do you pass that up?
I mean, if it's as good as everybody's saying it is, it's going to be hard to knock it off.
Yeah.
Could Nintendo surprise everybody and release Breath of the Wild 2 in holiday of this year and give it a run for its money? Probably. Like, that's the only thing I can think of in my brain right now that could give it a run. Like, off the top of my head, like, what's coming out and what I know about, like, that we're anticipating. Like, we don't have a date for that game, obviously, but of games that I'm kind of anticipating playing, I think that's one of the only ones that could give it a run for its money based on these review scores. So we'll see. I mean, it could. We're gonna have to jump in and give it a shot, right? Like, it's gonna.
One of us needs to. Me or Tay.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too is like, and I'm not trying to like spoil anything for next month, but let's say I have longer streams next month. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is also a motivation to like play this, because if I have 3 or 4 hours now, I would much rather sit down for 3 or 4 hours and play a single player game versus 2 hours if I sit down and you know what I mean? Like, 2 hours in a single player game might only be 2 missions.
Right.
Might be 1.5. You know what I mean? So kind of affects that. Whereas 4, it's like, okay, I can sit down and we can really chew through something here. So, and if you're doing a couple of those a month, then it's like, okay, then yeah, maybe I can start getting into some more single player games versus just, I'm going to play a couple games of Fortnite and just, that's it.
Well, I mean, reality is we got to try to break you away from the VR for a little bit, right? Like, that's kind of where you're at.
Can't take the goggles off.
But it's funny, that being said, like we were talking before the show, there's a VR bundle out there on humblebundle.com that's got some really cool stuff in it.
Yeah, and it's got 21,000 sold.
Amazing to me.
I don't know how this works.
So if you pay right now, it's if you play at least $12 for those 8 items.
Yeah, you get 8 items.
Yeah. So basically, you pay what you feel like you should pay for it, and as the average goes up, that number will change. So let's say like a bunch of people pay like $15 or $16, and then the average goes up to like where it would be $13. Then it would be $13 for those 8 items. Like, as the average goes up, that dollar amount will go up.
Right.
But this is a pretty cool bundle. Tower Tag looks really cool.
Tower Tag.
You were excited about one of them, right?
Well, there's the Trover Saves the Universe, just because I'm a Rick and Morty fan. But the synth one looks pretty good. I'm just now checking out Red Matter for the first time. Looks pretty cool. It's like a space one. I think that one's like single player. Um, they all look pretty cool because like they're all a little different, but like this one's like a Western, like a shooter. So there's like looks like there's a couple shooters, a couple. There's a cooking one that looks pretty cool. So I mean, Tower Tag was the one I was pretty excited about because I like the idea of it. You can like bounce between towers. So if you're way over here and I'm like way back here, I might have to jump between towers. Meanwhile, we're both blasting at each other. You know what I mean? So you try not to get hit.
Synth Riders is the one that I'm interested in because it
Right.
almost looks like Beat Saber, but it also allows you to put in custom music. It says
That's
so
cool.
that would be really interesting for me to
That would
see.
be super cool.
See a different one. Yeah, like the first thing that it says in the description is custom songs officially supported. And I'm like, all right. Like, and we all know that I need to get my butt up and moving a little bit. So it says it's a good fitness game as well. But it comes with 55 songs and 30 DLC. Offspring, Muse, and Caravan Palace are some of the DLC available. So that's interesting. But it looks super cool. I could really see myself kind of getting into it. But I love rhythm-based games anyway, like Rock Band and stuff. Those have always been on my top lists. So, Rock Band was hard not to put on my best games of all time list. So, yeah, that's one of those things.
I really enjoy Beat Saber, so I think I would enjoy that one. It looks like it has just a couple different like ideas behind it, like things that you can do. Like it looks like you like hold like a note kind of thing, which is neat. Rather than just air slashing everything. Like there's like a line, it's like a pipeline kind of thing. You gotta like match it with the waves, which I thought was cool. But there's also a Sid Meier bundle that's on here. It's got Civ 6 and all the DLCs, it looks like. So I've never played Civ. I never got into it somehow. But yeah. So did you want to talk about the COD tweet?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? You've been on this train for a while saying they need to not have one every year. And then Jason Schreier from puts out a tweet that says that it looks like they're going to take a year off. So it's interesting because you've been like beating that drum for a while, and I know there's a bunch of people that have, but you've been one of the most vocal about it. But Bloomberg put an article out saying Activision to delay next year's planned Call of Duty game. I'm interested to see if they really just keep supporting Warzone, because I'm sure that's where they're going to see most of their player base still. Because Vanguard's multiplayer just does not have the run like some of the previous ones.
Right.
But, I mean, putting it off, Treyarch is going to have till 2024, it looks like. So obviously the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard probably has something to do with this. I would guess.
You think it just has to do with like the state?
I think I think they may just be looking at it and going, "Hey, let's really sit down and try to figure out what we want to do with this franchise." And they won't come right out and say like, "Hey, we want to stop Call of Duty for a year." I don't think that that's it. I think there's just a lot of opportunity to like reevaluate where they're at. So kind of go from there.
So I kind of feel so Treyarch's always been very innovative and always pushing new ideas and trying new things. And from my understanding, there's going to be no zombies. However, the team could be coming up with something completely different. Same team, but just different objective, right? And also at the same time, maybe they're like, you know what? Why don't we try? We always release in the fall. Let's just say we're delaying it till 2024 and release spring, quarter 2 of 2024. And so I'd be kind of interested in that. See if they kind of take that route. They might not take all the way to the fall of next year. I mean, who knows, right? Um, or whatever it is. So but at the same time, um, like, what does that mean for like the rest of the Call of Duties? Like, okay, is this going to be like a regular thing? Is Call of Duty going to be every other year now, or is this just for one game? It's like, okay, if just one game, it's going to be delayed.
I don't know. I mean, it would make sense for them to take some extra time off.
Right. I mean, I agree, but I almost kind of see this as just one game being delayed, and then we're going to be back to like a game every year after that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know which way they'll go. I never played that 12 minutes game. I just saw that's on sale on the Humble store. I really should play that.
That was on your list for last year, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my wish list still. $25 on Steam. It's I feel like it's kind of steep. It's probably worth it, and it's a smaller studio, but that's pretty highly rated too. Yeah.
Joel agrees that it needs to be every other year.
I mean, I think most people would agree with that.
But they have so many studios doing it. I think it's hard to do that.
It's a little ridiculous.
I'm trying to find this state of play. They're expecting a new state of play next month. A lot of from
Sony,
PlayStation, right? Yeah. Just a lot of rumors going around that they're going to put some other stuff out just so they can show off Ghostwire Tokyo, God of War Ragnarok, since that is still believed to be released later this year. That's another one that I wonder, like, how will that hold up against Elden Ring? Being an exclusive, I think that hurts it, honestly.
Right. There's an interesting article on PC Gamer talking about battle royales. I kind of agree with this. Is by Morgan Park, and it's the future of battle royales is here, and there's no circle. Now the future, I don't really know, because this game has been out for a while, and I'm blanking now. Hold on, I'm like going through the article, find the name. It's a game I've talked about a couple times and I've played, but Jeez, oh Pete's, why can I not? 1 second, I am struggling.
That's all good.
The Hunt Showdown. Sorry.
Okay, that's all good.
Okay,
it's been that kind of day, so.
Yeah, I'm like sitting here and I'm like, they all like got pictures and stuff. I'm like, where's the name? I was like, I know I've played this game. So anyway, and they kind of talk about Escape from Tarkov 2, where it's like more raid based and less like 100 players circle, like you're out. Like, no, like the goal's not always go in and kill people. It might be go in, kill the AI, or try to take their loot, or go in, get a mission done, get some XP, get your loot, get out. And like, I agree with them. I like the idea of having a character and it being the same character as long as you don't die. Like, for instance, in the Hunt Showdown, like if you keep going with that character, all of a sudden that character starts getting pretty powerful. You might not run into somebody that round, but if you want to go hunt people, you can. And I really like the Hunt Showdown. I haven't played it in a while, but I always like that idea a little bit more than your traditional Fortnite Battle Royale. They're almost different. I mean, you could call them raid games rather than Battle Royales, but I've always liked Battle Royales too. So it's definitely an interesting article and a take that I'm a supporter of.
Yeah, Battle Royales and I haven't always had the best relationship, but I've been getting more and more into them over the course of time. So
right.
So Why no circle though?
So like if you think about it, so like the circle, they're like the reason circle exists in those battle royales is like condense it because like
Yeah, because the
it
player
has to end
size
with
is
one
small.
player.
Right.
Whereas these, both in Tarkov and the Hunt Showdown, they're extracts on the outside of the map. And so it's like if you go in and get what you want, if that was the mission, the XP, the gun, whatever it is you're looking for, or maybe you just, maybe you killed a squad and you're like, all right, I gotta get out of here before I die. You can leave whenever you want, you know what I mean? And then so I like that better than like the game forcing you how to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Fortnite's kind of doing it a little bit with the tents, with how you can throw down a tent and store like certain equipment and like guns and stuff. And then you can use it in later games. But for instance, like the only difference would be you'd have to like leave the game to save it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've yet to try the tent thing.
Like a lot of my friends, they have like a golden gun of each kind in their tent, but then they just never pull them out. They're just like always are saving
Really?
them. Yeah, it's
That's interesting.
classic gamer gear fear. You know what I mean? Like I understand. I would do it in Tarkov. I'd always make this sick M4. It's all like kitted out, and I would just never use it. But I'd just sit there and drool over it every time I'm waiting to hop in another match. But but yeah. So I definitely like the different ideologies of these battle royales in raid-based games.
Yeah, I haven't played Tarkov. I've watched some people play it. I think I don't know. Right now, I don't know that I want to hop into anything Russian, but
Oh boy. But you can
but
pick the other side, but it's very hardcore. It's definitely, and so is the Hunt Showdown, right? They're almost like the Dark Souls and the whatever we were just talking about. Jeez, dude, I'm blanking, and I only got 5 hours of sleep last night.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring of battle royales, right? Like
Yeah.
they're the hardcore, like very unforgiving. Like if you make a mistake and there goes your gear. And Fortnite, it's like, oh, if you lose, you just lost that game, right? You didn't lose anything. Where these is like, if you lose, you're losing something. Might not be much, could be a lot, but you're gonna lose something. It's pretty interesting. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous show. Kind of doesn't have to do with us, but kind of does because I'm gonna like kind of force it into the gaming. In Ohio, April 1st, sports betting is now legal.
Ooh.
And I wonder if that includes esports. I don't know what made me think about that, but it would be kind of interesting. Right?
Yeah. I mean, esports betting and proposition bets are really interesting. Proposition bets are always interesting to me anyway, but if esports can get a run in the betting scene, I think it would be really, really interesting.
Right.
Because I think seeing a lot of these guys, like watching people play like Rainbow Six Siege, like really good players, like that blows my mind. Because I'm very, very mediocre at that game. But seeing some of these people that are essentially professionals playing that game, I'm always enamored by their ability to just do some crazy stuff.
Gotcha.
So like if I could bet like, hey, they're gonna do XYZ, like I would jump on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting space for sure. Trying to see what else we got in here for news. There's a game that so have you ever played Banished?
No.
It's like it is a kind of a settlement simulator, right? You gotta have people harvesting logs, you gotta people be farmers, but it's like back in like a settlement, like back in like the kings and queens kind of day. Did you ever play Kingdoms of Keflings?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. Well, apparently, there's a game called RimWorld that is very similar to those kind of games. And I'm sorry, it's RimWorld meets Banish. So RimWorld's like another simulator, but it's top down. Um, and it's called Settlement Survival.
Mm-hmm.
It's an early access game, but it looks pretty like advanced for early access. And I somehow get sucked into settlement building and whatchamacallit, like Sims World or whatever it's called. Different Sims games, city builders, city skylines. I always get roped into those, but then I start playing them and I eventually get bored. I don't even know. Like I almost just need to like, for instance, Clash of Clans, similar kinda in ways.
Yeah. I used to get sucked into all the SimCity games, and I finally broke away from them. I was able to get myself away from them.
It's just they're just too tempting. I don't know why, but yeah. So it's on Steam for $15. That's interesting. I've never seen this on Steam. I don't know if this is a plugin I have, but it says historical minimum on Steam is $11.99.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna look and see if I have the same. It'll basically tell you what the cheapest the game's ever been.
Yeah, and it's also if I mouse over info, apparently whatever country that is, I don't even know. Apparently it's on sale for $5.73 right now.
Whatever country that is.
I don't know the flag, but it's so small. But I think that's Brazil. So if you're in Brazil right now, you can buy this game for equal to $5.73. So I'm gonna just change my location to Brazil real quick.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
Where's that historical?
It's right where the add to cart thing is. Like if you mouse over, mine says buy settlement survival historical minimum, and it's like it must be a plugin. I'm on. Okay, so you know what? I did pull it up on like the web browser, and I have a coupon thing called, I think it's called Honey, that's doing
the Honey app. Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably what it is.
Interesting. That's cool though. It tells you what the cheapest it's ever been, so you know whether you're overpaying or if it could possibly drop down to that again. Yeah, I'm interested. There's a game called Hold Fast Nations at War. It came out about 2 years ago, I think. And it's in my my wish list. It's like $8 right now. It's a World War I, like front lines, third person shooter. So it may be one that I jump into. My bigger concern is that it has like a bunch of online play, and I don't know if anybody's still playing it. That's always one of those rough things for me. Like, oh, do I get that?
Right, because it's like,
yeah. And there's certain other games that I thought like I would really get into, and then I get it, and then there's nobody playing it.
That's always the worst. It's like you just like click find game, it's just sitting there spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and it's like never gonna find one. It's like, man, this game's probably like really good.
Kart Rider Drift, when that finally comes out, there better be a lot of people playing that game because it looks awesome. It's like Mario Kart, but for PC.
Right.
And then Turtle Shredder's Revenge is still out there. And then no release date in sight. They put out a new video with some gameplay the other day, but still no release date. That was supposed to have come out already. And then I wish Tay was here because King of Fighters 15 came out on, was it Friday? I didn't get it yet. It was last Thursday, actually. But we had been talking about that for a while, about possibly picking that one up. I'm never gonna pay full price for it, as we've talked about before, because I don't play King of Fighters enough to pay full price.
Right.
But it looks phenomenal. Graphically, it just looks really good. I love the King of Fighters series. The fact that they're on number 15 kind of blows my mind. But there's a deluxe edition as well. So When the deluxe edition is the price of the standard edition, I'll probably jump in. But that series is always like, I just love SNK fighters. Like SNK, Capcom, they've always done well in my mind for fighters.
Yeah. I'm as far as fighting games go, the one game I want to get is like a boxing VR game, back to VR, but I would want something like that.
Creed looks really cool.
Yeah, there's that one and there's one more. I don't know which one to get. I'd probably get the Creed one. But right now on Steam too, they're having Next Fest, which is kind of like what's next coming up. Look up while you're on Steam. Look up Crows, CROWZ.
Oh, I already tweeted about this the other day.
What are your thoughts?
I want to play it bad.
The open beta is live right now.
Yeah, I downloaded what it says. Download the demo. I downloaded the demo already because I want to jump into it. I actually need to update it. It says, but yeah, I definitely want to hop into this game. I saw it a few weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get some time with that. It almost looks like a cross between Call of Duty and CS:GO.
It reminds me of Arma.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what it really reminds me of. Or that Tom Clancy Ghost games.
Ghost Recon.
Yeah, all the recent Ghost Recon games looks a lot like that too.
Yeah, I could
I could
definitely see myself jumping into that. But it has an update I need to do after we get off the air.
Download it. I didn't.
I also need to update Super Auto Pets because I haven't played it yet. I downloaded it that night we talked about it, but I haven't played into it yet.
Yeah, I haven't played it recently. I had to kick that addiction. But
Crows looks really cool.
It looks super cool. The only thing that would like eventually drive me away from it would be like the replayability or whatnot. But besides that, there's on the Next Fest 2, there's also a game called looks really weird, but it looks like another simulation game called Wandering Village. Looks like it's like you're building like a village, but it's like on the back of like this giant like dinosaur that like moves throughout a world.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the art style.
Is it a VR game?
No.
Or is it okay?
And it's like, and at the very end of the trailer, it shows you like come up to like a dead dinosaur with like a dead city on its back. Kind of eerie. It's the art style is super interesting because it's like part 3D but also part 2D. It's on the Next Fest as well. It's interesting. It's an early access game. I guess all these kind of have demos, or most of them have demos going on now until the 28th.
Have you read any of the community posts on Crows?
On what?
On Crows, the Steam posts on Crows, like people that have played it.
No.
So far.
They're bad.
So, one of them says, "This was my first and last game of Crows. The hype is not real." And the guy was in first place. He had 22 kills and 9 deaths, and he injured 15. Like, I mean, he was well above just about everybody else.
How do you look at that?
If you go to community, like
what curators say?
Let's see. So under Community Hub.
Okay.
Like if you've got it, so I have it installed. Then you just go to Community Hub, and then there's a bunch of. It's like, don't like it asks you if you're okay with strong violence or whatever, and you just click OK. And there's a bunch of different things that people have posted. That's one. People are complaining that there's no full controller support. Some of the screenshots that people have taken are pretty cool looking.
Some people are. I understand this guy's mad about the third person peeking. That is really in games, but
yeah, I mean, I just think that's part of that game. Like, I used to use that as a tool in Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2. That was like my favorite move was to just put my back up against the wall and peek around the
right
what was happening. So that doesn't bother me at all. That happens a lot in games. Guess there's some server issues, which it's early. That's not a surprise, right?
Right.
Um, I don't know. Graphically, it looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
But some other people are saying that they can't get to the servers. One thing that's interesting, if you're streaming it, they're actually putting people's Twitch streams out in the community chat, like as influencers, like putting influencers out there that are playing it. Like, hey, go watch this person, they're playing it.
That's cool. Now, see, like, I think Steam, like, you should be, what? Wait, hold on. All right, I'm gonna finish my thought before I start talking about this.
All right.
But as far as like there's always like showing like it's always devs on Steam. There should be like another section where it's like just people that are streaming it on Twitch who have like a decent amount of viewers or something. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
But it's this game. So I played this at TwitchCon, the last TwitchCon, which what year was that? 2018. My badge is over there. Which that's coming back. We can talk about that a little bit, but that's gonna be in October or something like that, November. But Conan Chop Chop, it has been on my wish list. The planned release date is March 1st. Now, I don't know if that's real or not, but I've been waiting a very long time for this game. And like I have a shirt. I have a shirt somewhere over there that they gave me for demoing it at TwitchCon. And it's a great game. And they don't even have it priced yet. But the demo is out. So that's pretty exciting. So if this comes out March 1st, that's what I'll be streaming March 1st for sure. This game actually is a lot of fun. It's like a 2D like screen scroller. You can play up to 4 people, but it's like kind of like an RPG at the same time. It's super fun. Yeah, I didn't know this Next Fest was a thing until I opened Steam just to talk about different games and stuff for the podcast. But
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of this Next Fest. They're showing a lot of things. There's that space Call of Duty game.
The 21st through the 28th. I think they do a good job promoting new stuff that's coming out. I'll be honest. I wish that Twitch would adopt some of the things that Steam does when it comes to promoting new games.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that Twitch would promote new streamers or like kind of go out of their way to promote some new feeds. I know that they want their big numbers like to just keep getting bigger with these big streamers. I just think it would be interesting for people that are affiliates that are hanging in that affiliate range, like they're barely in the affiliate program, to get some pub like that. Like just maybe just like even if you do it for just a week, like feature 4 or 5 different people for a couple hours and then just move it around. But this, like the way that Steam does this, this broadcast for Next Fest is really cool.
Right.
Because they have a bunch of different developer plays live now. And then there's some more at 9 and then 3 more at 10 tonight. 8-bit adventures I really want to see. That's one that I think is really, really cool looking. There's some pirate ship stuff in that one. So of course I'm suckered into that. But I mean, there's some other games that they've got on there. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm guessing this is Eastern time, right? These are all Eastern time.
I think so.
Esports history. That game is going to be shown. That one's an interesting one for me because it's like you're running your own esports team and you set up like where they play and compete and train and do all kinds of stuff.
That's pretty cool.
It's like a simulator. I think that one would be really neat. But I would love to see somebody playing that to see like how much time would I really spend playing that game.
Right. Like how in depth is it?
Yeah.
It feels like a game that you'd only play like maybe once.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of tough. I'm gonna check their Twitter account to see if they're actually releasing March 1st or if that's just like what they put on Steam. I've tweeted them multiple times asking about this game.
There was another one. Where's the Yeah, here it is. Trash Panda. I knew this was on the Next Fest list. I think this game is totally down your alley.
Say it one more time.
Trash Panda. You're a raccoon, and you're like going through neighborhoods and digging in garbage.
It reminds me of Goose Game. Looking at it,
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of Goose
but like
Game.
it's like,
can you get caught or like how's?
I have no idea. But you get like
one says
knocked
bins
over
remain.
garbage and like.
Oh, you go up against another raccoon.
Yeah,
at least in one
like,
game mode.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ones, and you get points for like making messes and eating garbage.
Oh my gosh!
It just looks so silly that it's almost like it just reminds me of something that you would jump into.
Yeah,
and be like, I can't believe I got into this, but but that one looks really cool. But yeah, those are just a couple that have caught my attention. And the cool thing is that if you're out there on Steam right now, you can actually go and look at the whole broadcast schedule. Like for the entire event, it's already laid out.
Right.
So that's really, really neat, because if there's something that you're thinking about, maybe you hop in or just watch that one. You can set reminders as well, which is really nice. And you can do it via email or via the mobile app, or you can add it to your Apple or Google Calendar. So if there's a specific game you want to see at a certain time on a certain, like it's on a certain day or whatever, you can set it up that way, which is really nice. So you don't miss necessarily whatever game you're kind of looking for.
So by just going to Conan Chop Chop's Twitter, I scrolled down for maybe like 30 seconds. So June 6th, 2020. I don't have that many tweets. I think total, they have 284 total. And I've known about this game since 2018 or 19, whatever the last TwitchCon was. I don't remember the year. Everything's weird timeline-wise. They tweeted, the game is still due to release in 2020. They tweeted that June 26, 2020. So I'll see if
it still hasn't released yet.
No, it's supposed to release March 1st.
The last TwitchCon was September 27th of 2019.
Yeah, so 2019. So
yeah,
just been waiting 3 years for this game.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, man! Why is this happening to me? I got Elden Ring. I got Conan Chop Chop apparently coming out. I got Crows, which apparently doesn't sound like I'm missing out on too much there.
No.
Don't want to dip my toes in the water for sure, but
yeah, I want to see what that's like. I think that one's one that it's going to be hard to know what people like. Reviews of shooters are hard, like when they're early on and they're especially in a beta. And people are like, "Oh, this sucks. This beta sucks. The servers don't work." Well, that's why they're in a beta. Like, they're trying to figure it out. That's the whole reason you do a beta.
Yeah. I guess it's all like you always gotta be careful of like what sucks in the beta.
Yeah. Did you see this Celestial Empire game? That's on. It's actually broadcasting live right now on Next Fest. It looks like a mix between SimCity and Romance of Three Kingdoms. It's called Celestial Empire.
Oh, there's one called Buggos that I'm seeing. How do I get to the main stream? Are there multiple games going?
There's multiple games going at once.
I don't see that one. Hold on, I'll just search it.
Yeah, just search it. It looks really, really interesting. It looks like you're building a Chinese.
Yeah,
like you're basically rebuilding China. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah, so that basically looks like, kind of like the other game I was talking about, where it's kind of like Banished. It looks like that, but essentially change of location.
Yeah,
like I said, man, those settlement games will get me.
Yeah, what's the other one? I cannot remember the name of it. It feels like it's a tycoon game, but it's not called Tycoon. I have it in my Steam library, I'm sure. But there's a couple other ones of those that I have played over the course of time, and I'm like, yeah, those games just suck all kinds of hours out of my life. Between Civilization, SimCity, what the heck is the name of that game? I'm drawing a blank now. See, it's my fault. Like now I'm not going to remember the name of them.
One of those days, man. It was yesterday was 2222222, and now we're all just
everything's all messed up.
Yeah, we're in a different timeline now. We're just catching up.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it now off the top of my head.
My game list for these upcoming podcasts are going to be real weird. In other news, Jake Paul just tweeted, "Alexa, play 'I'm Single' by Jake Paul." So Jake Paul made him single for all you ladies out there.
All the single ladies. Man, I cannot remember the name of that game. It's going to drive me nuts. It's like you're a dictator. Like, I know that's not the name of it, but you can like choose to be a dictator. Oh, Tropico. There it is. Tropico 6. Like I've played a bunch of the different ones, but I have Tropico 6 is the one that I've played the most of. That game is nuts. Like I hate to admit how many hours I've put into that game. It was free on PlayStation Plus at one point. One of the Tropico games was, and I had never played it before, and then I just got completely sucked in.
Yeah, I never touched those games.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably good for you that you didn't.
Yeah, I just never made it to it for whatever reason.
Yeah. There's just so many of those city sim games that
they're all spend time. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the other ones that I get caught up in, and I haven't played one in a while, but I know I'm going to eventually go back and play the bridge builder games where you like have to try to build the bridge and the cars go across or whatever.
Yeah. And there's like boats underneath and stuff.
Yeah. Those games. Like countless hours of those as well. Like if you just need something that just wastes time, that's one like that series of games. That's one that I would say I spend a lot of time in. And then I've been playing a lot of Uno up until this past week. I was playing Uno almost every night right before bed, like one hand of Uno before I went to bed. But this, I may probably get back to that, but I think that's the most underrated game on the Switch.
Is it Uno?
Yeah. Cause you can like multiple people are playing it and there's a ton of people playing it. Like you can go play an online game and you can always find a match, which is really fun.
That's cool. I've never been a big Uno person personally, but I understand the appeal.
Yeah, I would love if they came out with a Phase 10 or something like that on Switch. Like just little, like I like those little card games when I'm just trying to kill, 5-10 minutes.
Right. I mean, you're just trying to like decompress and like, you know what I mean? Just like get ready to.
Well, that was Pac-Man for the longest time, right? When you guys were always like, "What are you playing?" And I'm like, "Oh, Pac-Man every day." Like, but then that started to get to the point where I was expecting to do too much with it, like, and then instead of decompressing, I was like, "Man, I want to beat that next level." Like, I got too into it. My son's been playing a ton of Rust.
It's another game I wanted to get back into.
It appears, based on my Steam account, that I have played 148.9 hours of that game. That is a lie. He plays that game on my Steam account. But when it was like your most played games, and I was like, what? No.
No way.
No chance. No. Right? Yeah, I was like, there's no chance. But he really enjoys that game. So
Yeah, it's another game I want to get back into, man. There's just all of a sudden too many games. Like all these could be old games I wasn't interested in. And then for whatever reason, the weather, season, something I see, read, I'm just like, okay, I want to play that now. I don't know, man. I'm just a weird gamer. Like sometimes I'm just like, man, I wish my friends were into Destiny 2. Like I'm always just wanting to do too much.
I re-downloaded that on PlayStation. I haven't touched it since I re-downloaded it.
Yeah, right.
And I have a friend who plays it every night. Like he plays that game religiously, but he's got so many hours into it that like he would have zero interest playing with me, I'm sure, because of how
maybe. I mean, you just never know. Some people enjoy teaching, you know.
Yeah,
it just kind of depends, but
yeah. I mean, I've joined them for some raids before, and the joke has always been like, let's see how long Ryan can stay alive.
Yeah, like you're in the back, just trying not to die, not even doing any damage.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the person will the boss will disappear in front of you and wind up right behind us.
You're like aggro right on you.
Yeah, and I'm just running to the other side trying to get away. But yeah, that's a game that I would love to get into. I love the art style.
Well, I guess it's 9:00 now. I guess we should end things here and maybe give ourselves a chance to play some of these games, even though I think I'm about to just go put the Oculus on.
Yeah, I'm going to update Crows and I guess update Dill. I'm not going to update Destiny 2 on PC because it's a 20 gig update again.
Yeah, you might as well let it run though.
They just had that expansion come out too, right? So if anybody's interested in Destiny, there's the new expansion. I can't remember the name of it. It's something with a witch.
I know it. I know
the Witch Queen.
I thought it had Queen in it.
Yeah, it dropped yesterday. I'm so far behind in the expansions that I don't even know where to start.
Right.
But it's also a problem because I had it on. So I had Destiny 2 on Xbox, PC, and on PlayStation. Because I got it. Well, initially, yes, because they weren't merged together. And then they eventually allowed you to merge it into one. But when I worked for GameStop, we got codes.
Right.
So I was playing it on all different things, trying to see what it was better on, so I could tell people yeah, I really like it better on whatever. But since I've mainly played it on PC, but it's hard for me to play that game, and I talk about it a lot because you can't pause. Right, like something happens with the kids, I can't stop what I'm doing.
That's true.
It's not like I can go hide somewhere in a lot of cases. I mean, you can kind of, but it's not as easy to hide in that game and not get killed. And sometimes if you go in the back. Yeah, and if you go hide, sometimes you'll time out.
And you're setting your controller all weird, so that way the analog stick is bent.
Yeah, I've actually I had a friend of mine who told me the other day, bro, you just need a rubber band, and I was like, what? And he took a rubber band and put it on his right stick, so he would spin in circles.
Right, really bad for your controllers. You'll end up giving it your joystick
all of a sudden he's got drift. Yeah, eternal drift to the right, but it did keep him from getting timed out.
That's why PC's nice because you can just turn on an auto clicker. You're just punching the wall.
Well, I discovered the auto run the other day in Fortnite.
That's a big help.
Yeah, auto run and auto drift. So one of the things I was struggling with was I could never remember my quests, what I needed to do to get my next couple quest things done. And then once I realized I could start gliding to the area that I wanted to go to and then look at the quest line and I would keep gliding in that direction, I was like, oh, this is so much better. Right. And then now you can, and I know this wasn't a thing early on in the game, but you can actually track a quest.
Yeah.
In Fortnite. And that's really, really nice. I liked it.
So like the old tracking was better. I don't know if you ever played the old tracking.
I don't know that I ever realized there was tracking.
Okay.
But I like the fact that it can tell me like I need, X number of yards like floating in the air or whatever, just whatever the thing is I'm tracking to try to do my next week's worth of challenges. And I catch myself now doing that more, is actually looking to see what I need to get the XP. And in the past, I just played to play.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have those things on the bonus list that I really, really want, like I'm catching myself like, oh, I need to thank the bus driver 4 more times. Maybe I just die 98th or I don't ever do that, but I've thought about it because I'm like, oh, if I just need to thank him 1 more time, I get 8,000 XP for that.
Right. I mean, there's a bug, or at least was, that like, how you'd like open up those vaults X amount of time.
Yeah.
If you spray painted it, like the door, it counted as like open. So I stood there for like 5 minutes just spray painting it a bunch just to get the XP.
I was unaware that you could take one of the soldiers in the one area and down them and then pick them up and carry them to the vault and open the vault. Yeah. So if you're playing solos,
crazy.
Yeah, if you're playing solos, you can shoot one of them and down them and then carry them to the vault, and then it opens the vault for you.
Wow.
Like, and for me as a novice Fortnite player to find that out was just mind blowing.
Right. Well, did you know with the chug splashes and stuff and the chug kegs, they'll put out fire?
Yeah.
I didn't know that until like someone sent me a TikTok, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I saw that online at some point because somebody had thrown fireflies into the building that somebody was in.
Yeah,
and they happened to be by them.
Put it out.
Oh, that's really crazy.
They need a firefighter skin now.
That would be cool. There was a new Batman skin, and I think I might have missed it. So I'm gonna have to check that out and see if I missed him or not. There was a new Harley Quinn and a new Batman skin a couple nights ago. They have Aloy back, so she's back.
That's cool.
It looks like the Batman one might be gone. No, Beast Boy's there. Batman's still there. So it's an armored Batman. So Batman, Flash, and Harley Quinn and Beast Boy. And then my daughter got Wonder Woman the other day.
Very nice.
So she got Wonder Woman, and my youngest one got Beast Boy.
I've not bought any Fortnite skins recently. I've been very good. Well,
there's the Rebirth Harley Quinn, which I really, really want. And then the armored Batman I'm a sucker for Batman. I have every other Batman skin, so this is going to have to happen. Yeah,
week, right?
The 4th.
Fourth, yeah. So a week from this weekend.
Yeah, so that'll happen for me for sure. We'll have to talk about that hopefully on a future show.
Yeah, we will, because I'm gonna try to see it that weekend. So you better see it that weekend, so I don't spoil.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Well, I know I think I have games that weekend, but I'll figure out a way to kind of juggle it because that's one I want to see before somebody screws it up.
Yeah,
but sure. I know someone will ruin that game or that.
Yeah, he might turn into a vampire at the end or something.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I've heard rumors he turns into a vampire and fights werewolves.
I mean,
falls in love with a girl in high school.
Is she fine? Yeah. Is it called Twilight?
Actually, I think that's the second movie that comes out after this one.
I'm interested to see how he plays the role, honestly.
I think he's going to do well because they are going that darker route, and I think he's a darker actor, and he does a pretty good job. Like him just being quiet could be eerie. As long as he's not like shining and like super pale, like in Twilight, I think we'll be good. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Sure. All right. We'll talk more about that movie on a future show because I know we're going to see
two podcasts from now.
Hopefully Tay, his move's going well, and we'll see him back on the show here soon. He's moving to a faraway place from us. It's not close, right? But
I don't think so.
No, but I know he's been in the process, so hopefully it was just it caught him off guard. He's in a new time zone too, so that may have thrown things for a loop. Which is why we thought he may join us towards the end of the show.
Right.
But we will catch you all next time here on the Connection Interruption Podcast. Thanks to Team Frisch Game Day for putting up with us and being part of our show and helping us do what we do. And hopefully you guys, as you're watching the videos, enjoy it. Please share, comment, even if you're not watching live. Like, we appreciate everybody taking the time to watch the show later, because we know not everybody can join us at 8 o'clock on Wednesday nights, because a lot of you are wrestling fans. I know everybody's watching AEW. I get it. I always catch AEW after our show. But thank you for watching, whether you're watching live or you watch later. We appreciate you. And follow us on social media. You can find us each at our social media accounts. Boop, 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 boop. Right there. So we will see you next time here on the Connection Interruption Podcast. See you, everybody.
Boy.